Relax.
Most time, Chris. Bear with me, Israel. Bear with me. Hey, Bob, what happened to my fast charger? It should be over. It's over here somewhere. Yeah, but it's missing the base on it. Yeah. Nah, that ain't no good. Hey, with the water. All right. Shalom, Israel. YAHAWAH, YAHUSHA. Preaching officer 5,000. Yadai holding it down till 12. Shield General Mahayaman gets here. General Mahayaman will be here shortly. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. So when the general gets here, we get the rock and roll. Now, understand something. Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. Now is the time. I say it every week. Now is the time for us to wake up, man. We got to wake up and realize our real identity. Latino man, First Nation man, Black man and woman, we are the children of Israel. We are God's chosen people, the people of the book, man. We are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Live. It's a white box. It's a white box. It's probably upstairs. Don't worry about it, I buy it. Got to understand something, man. You see what's going on with the devil Donald Trump, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, El Hombre Blanco es el Diablo. See what they doing. You know what I mean? Having ICE come and pick up, you know what I mean, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, man. It's an evil and diabolical thing. And we got to realize, Black man and woman, you have to have compassion on our Hispanic brothers and sisters, man. Lie. Got to have compassion on our brothers and sisters. You sitting there, and listen, there's some instances like Baha'yah, you know what I mean, of our brothers doing so. I read a story about, you know what I mean, ISRAELITE sister that was saying that the teachers down there in Texas, you know what I mean, the Black, you know what I mean, men and women teachers say, you know what I mean, the ICE going to have to prod them babies from them. And that's how we're going to have to be. We're going to have to stand up for our brothers and sisters, Black man and woman. You got to put aside the petty differences, right? That the oppressor is the one that instigated it. You sitting up here as a brother, you think, oh, I'm going to be FBA on what, Twitter? You foundational Black. I mean, you got that hashtag on your Twitter page. You know what I mean? Following after nonsense and garbage, thinking you're going to get reparations from the oppressor. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You ain't never getting that 40 acres and a mule. Real reparations comes for that Black and Latino man and woman and Native Indian man and woman. When the Most High Yahweh sends our King, YAHUSHA mashiach back and lays waste to the oppressor in America and these other nations for what they have done to us. That's why we have to wake up. Wake up to the truth. If I could, let me get Romans 13 and 11. Okay. And if I could, true, could I get Micah chapter 2 and verse 10? Baba Kushar. That's what we have to understand, man. We have to realize, man, that we have to wake up. A lot of us are fast asleep, Matham. Fast asleep. You got it? Okay. If I could, let me get Micah 2. Let me get Micah 2 and 10 first. So what I about?
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
The Bible says to arise ye and depart. What does that mean? We have to take our mind out of this place. Arise ye and depart. You have to depart from America's way of thinking. I was looking on Instagram and Twitter, good night, brother. You know what I saw? It was hilarious. I was laughing for a good 20 minutes. It's a lot of you evil single sisters talking about, I ain't got no Valentine. Good. Good. He don't deserve it anyway. Let me tell you why. First of all, Valentine's Day, you know what I mean, is not a day recognized by the Most High. It's not. Valentine's Day is, you know what I mean, one of Esau's holidays, which comes from the Roman and Greek traditions. That day is about rape and pedophilia and all type of evil and yeah, it's rough. Right. You don't need to be engaging in that anyway. Right. And that's the problem. And for those of you sisters that do have a brother, you're going to put that brother through hell because he don't get you no chocolate. He don't get you no gift. You don't deserve no gift anyway. You don't. You don't at all. And brother, you look crazy going out there and and getting chocolates and getting whatever for the woman, you know, for women like that belong to everybody. Wow. That's a rough spot. But where does that culture come from? That comes from the oppressor and trying to follow after them. We follow after what our God said. That day, it wouldn't even matter. Valentine's Day won't matter. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, your birthday, none of that garbage will matter. Arise ye and depart. You got to depart from that way of thinking, man. Keep going.
For this is not your rest.
For this is not your rest. You worried about getting hearts and chocolates or a gift or whatever. When our brothers and sisters is being rounded up, locked in cages, families being torn apart. You worried about the wrong thing, black man and woman. We worried about the wrong thing. Our brothers and sisters is out here suffering. We're suffering at the hand, you know what I mean, of this wicked oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. The Bible says to arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. How can you find rest in this place? All the abuse that goes on with our people. How can you find rest? I was reading one story earlier. CHAANAYAAHLA, right? CHAANAYAAHLA. I was reading a story earlier about the sister Tabitha Brown. You know, brothers and sisters was talking about boycotting Target. You know what I mean? And Tabitha came out and said, hold up. Don't boycott Target. You can still go in there and buy my products. How crazy does that sound? It comes across as incredibly selfish. What you really should do is say, yeah, boycott Target. Let me get my products out of there. Let me find another way of distribution and getting my product out there to my people. You notice East Indians don't have that problem. Chinese don't have that problem. Right. The oppressor don't have that problem. We're the ones that have that problem. It's a selfishness there. Could you imagine if we all decided, you know what, because we make Walmart, Target, and all these places spend anyway. Could you imagine if we decided to take that dollar and spend it with blacks and Latinos? My God. You mean to tell me we can't have our own businesses? We can't have our own Walmart, our own former Target? That you have to go through the oppressor? This place is not our rest. You sitting up here telling me, right, in this place, you want to be FBA. You want to be American. Let me tell you something crazy to you, Connie. You know Elon Musk is African-American, right? And I know some of y'all online like, Yedaya, you up there tripping again. I ain't drinking no scotch or no Jack today. I got water. What do you mean Elon Musk is African-American? Elon Musk is from South Africa, has South African citizenship, and he has American citizenship. Technically, you can look this up. Elon Musk is classified as an African-American. Do we look like Elon Musk? Nah. Elon Musk out here doing this shit here. Tell about my heart goes out to you. Doing full-on Nazi salutes. You know he on the spectrum too. The Wizard of Oz is on the spectrum too. You know, that's a story for another day. Don't you realize that we are not the same as him? He's a goddamn Nazi. Right. He supports white supremacy. All of them do. And that's the side you want to be on? How can we have rest in this place where he could go out and blatantly do that? He can go out there and do 2 Nazi salutes. But Kyrie Irving, he could just tweet a tweet of a documentary that he saw and lose everything. They froze his bank account and sent him to sensitivity training. Y'all gonna send Elon Musk to sensitivity training? Because you saw what they did to Nick Cannon, Kyrie, Deshaun Jackson, publicly castrated these brothers. Then you got Elon out here doing his full-on zigzag. It's a rough one, How can we find rest in this place? How can we find rest in this hypocrisy? You're not. You know when you do find rest is when you come back to your identity. When you come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge and realize that the blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the Jews of antiquity, and that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, El Hombre Blanco, es el diablo. Guess what? That is medicine.
Right.
It's medicine. Connie, I know brothers that don't even want to say the oppressor is the devil. I know a few brothers in the world that don't even, they don't even want to whisper it. It says, all right, you ain't got to do it. I'm going to say it for you. Because we understand something, man. They think that they can have rest in this place. We know. How do we know it? The Bible says so. We can't have rest in this place. Why? Because we are continually destroyed here, continually oppressed and abused. When are you going to get tired of being abused, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman? When are you going to grow tired? Yeah, I mean, of just going with the okie doke every day of our lives. Have you tried being righteous? Have you tried putting the weed down? Have you tried not celebrating these holidays? Like, I'm encouraging every brother. Listen, if you're going to end up on the couch or she put you out, so be it. Don't buy them flowers. Do not buy them chocolates. Don't do none of that. Tell her no. Tell her no. Keep going.
Because it is polluted.
This place is what?
It is polluted.
This place is polluted. How do you know that this place is polluted, man? The Wizard of Oz went out there recently, and went out there and really did a full Zig Hail. He went out there, did a full Zig Hail, Hail Hitler, Hail Hydra, whatever they believe in. That's what they went out. That's what he went out there and did. And let me explain something to you. If you go out there and push the truth, you're in a hate group. Like when General Mahayaman was breaking down so heavy about Adam Clayton Powell, who was a Christian brother, who said damn near the same shit that we say. But we're classified as a hate group. We're classified as a hate group because of Christians like Martin Luther King. That's what needs to stop.
Right.
Our own people come up against this harder. You got to stop coming against this true Black and Latino and First Nation man and woman.
Right.
This place is not our rest. It is polluted. Polluted our minds into thinking. You got brothers out here. I was watching Captain Zariak destroy the No Fugazi brother. No Fugazi brother talking about, yeah, the white man is going to be in heaven with me. You mean to tell me the same oppressor that raped, abused, and murdered and unalived all of our people is going to be up there in the great old by and by with us? That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Kind of y'all wasn't around, man. I buy to tell you, and Officer Marad tell you, we used to go to camp at 15th and JFK. 15th and JFK, man, it's a Benjamin brother. He probably out there right now. I buy that. Man, brother went up there and told Captain Shapard, and I was reading for it, that we are breathing the white man's air. Brother, at that point, I was like, damn, I ain't never seen coonery at that degree, but it's out there. To think that the oppressor is going to be up there in heaven, that is Stockholm syndrome to the umpteenth degree, I buy. Where you can't even function without the oppressor. And shame on you, brothers and sisters, man, that thought that Donald Trump was going to fix things. Right. How's he going to fix things? He can't stand you. He can't stand us. And don't get me wrong, we ain't supporters of Kamala because she can't stand us neither. Right. She was coming after the babies. But guess what? Donald Trump doing the same thing. Wow. Doing the same thing. And you bought into it. This place is polluted. You sitting up here thinking, oh, America is going to be great again. America was never great for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Right. If you're an oppressor, America is great for you. You get to manifest your destiny. But if you are Black, Latino, or Native Indian, America was never great for our people. And if you believe in that, brother, your mind is polluted. This place is polluted. That's what it does to you. It makes you think that nonsense matters. Like we recently went out there, me and the brothers went out there to Trenton, New Jersey for this pop-up called Trenton Talks. And we got a chance to actually sit down and listen to the youth of Trenton, New Jersey. And I'll be telling them, y'all, you ain't got to, you know what I mean, past 7 o'clock. You know what I mean, you can't really be taking me nowhere because I'm just going to say whatever's on my mind. I'm sitting up there listening to these sisters complain about why they ain't got no man and why they on their 10th and 11th man, and listening to ignorant ass brothers talking about, you know what I mean? Yeah, if she don't do this, I'm going to put her away. God damn it, we don't even know how to be in relationships with each other. There's no discipline whatsoever. And you know why that is? Following after the oppressor, believing in that garbage. Some sisters out there that really believe that if he don't get you something for Valentine's Day, he don't love you. That's a rough spot. This place is polluted. They make you think that, oh, if he don't acknowledge your birthday, if he don't get those Christmas gifts, if he don't do this, if he don't do that, or if she don't do this, and if she don't do that, guess what? There's no real love there. Well, love is an action, young brother. Love is an action, young sister. I'm here to tell you. You don't really know what love is. And a lot of our people claim to love our people, but have no idea about the meaning. MLK did not love our people. Al Sharpton, I saw something with him where didn't he walk in Target, the stage of protest? Now here's the thing too, right? 2025, that's how you know this place is polluted. 2025, you're doing a walk-in, a protest walk-in in Target. What is the difference between doing that and what happened in the 40s and 50s and 60s with Woolworths? It's the same thing. We ain't learned nothing. Why is it that we gotta be peaceful, like, oh, I'm gonna stage a protest? How about just don't shop there no more?
Right.
How about just not go to Woolworth? Like, it's a clip on TikTok of this brother that said, when I finally went to Woolworth, I went in there and I sat down and I said that this is the lousiest meal I ever had in my life. I don't know what made you think that, the good old boy Bill back there with the pickup truck, you know what I mean, and like to do stuff to the pigs and the sheep. Well, if he don't think we see it and looking, they mess with animals. What made you think he was a better cook than us?
Right.
What made you think that we should value their restaurants and their establishments and their businesses over our own? That was pushed by men like Martin Luther King. That was pushed by your pastor. That's why this place is polluted. That's why the Lord said, arise ye and depart. For this is not our rest, for it is polluted. This place has polluted our minds to believe that white is better, that white is right. It's not. It's not. What's actually right is this Bible. And this Bible is only for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The Lord knows way more than we do.
Wow.
And he was right to tell us in Leviticus that we should be separate unto him, for he is separate and severed us from other people. That's how it's supposed to be. Because if not, we're going to be out here thinking that Valentine's Day matter. We're going to be out here still waiting on reparations. We're going to be out here still believing that we free, white, and 21, and we are not.
Right.
We're not. Is there any more on that? Keep reading.
It shall destroy you.
It shall what?
Destroy you.
It shall destroy you, brother. It already has. The mindset we have is already destroyed.
Wow.
Didn't just destroy us physically, because it destroyed us physically too, but mentally and spiritually, bro, we fucked up. We messed up out here in the worst way possible. It shall destroy you. Families destroyed. And the big thing about families being destroyed, what the oppressor did was so diabolical during, you know what I mean, even what he's doing now with our Hispanic brothers and sisters. This has been going on, you know what I mean, since the beginning. They have always been our enemies. Like, our people don't realize, that the oppressor wakes up every day thinking of new ways of how they can destroy us.
Right.
The scripture says in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, that they have a perpetual hatred against us. A perpetual hatred against the Most High. And what's important to realize with that, once we realize it, we'll know who we're dealing with. And we'll know who to give our love to. ALLURBANCENTRAL. Barak. Yahawah, Shriya, Shah, Brakadah.
YAHUSHUA, Shah, Brakadah. Clap it up. Wafian. Let's get on tonight. I'll answer all of your questions, solve all of your problems. You got a question, just get ready to ask it, okay? Before we begin, somos la escuela, somos la escuela or just escuela?
I believe it's almost like escuela.
Somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, debajo del mando, General YAHANNA. All right, let's begin, Akim. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready to go.
Come,
We get the warrior up front in Philly. You got it, Ak.
I had a question, Genesis 18:1.
Okay,
Would you like me to read it?
please.
It says, that the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Meribah, and he sat in the tent doors in the heat of the day. In verse 2, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him, and when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I understand this. How do you know that they were the Most High?
That they were the Most High? They were definitely not the Most High, right? What were they? Do you know? They were. Is this Abraham? Is this Lot or Abraham? Who's the one that met him? Say again.
I believe this is Abraham.
This is Abraham. Okay, read me the part that you're asking about where he knew what they were.
Okay, sorry. It's in verse 3. It says, and he said, my Lord, if now have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
Oh, I got you. That's why you said Lord. I got you. When he said my Lord, he's not speaking about God, like the Lord God. It's Lord like Adawan or Master or Sir. So in essence, in American lingo, what he would say is, excuse me, sir, I pray you. So that word sir there is not capital L-O-R-D, which would mean Yahawah in the Hebrew, which is the Most High's name. It's the capital L lowercase O-R-D, which just means sir. You get my point? So what he knows about them is that they are men of honor. As he begins to talk to them, he realized that they represent the Most High God. Then he begins to know that they are angels. Now, how do you know when someone is an angel? You really don't know. But many times in the Bible, through meeting someone, their character, their presence will begin to make you feel like this is more than just a man. You get the point? Many brothers in the U.P.K. have been through this. Abraham absolutely, throughout a warrior, Abraham absolutely went through that day. You understand now? The water. Can I get a napkin, please, Arkin? Any other questions?
Go, sir.
Someone's phone is up here if you need it, all right? Go ahead.
Go, sir. This is from last round. He asked, how does one deal with suicidal thoughts?
Well, warrior, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that you have to fight sadness. It's in the Apocrypha. Where is that at, Yediah? It must be resisted, to resist sadness or to fight sadness. Let me tell you what depression is. Depression is a demon that is trying to kill you. Let me ask him a question. Let's say a man broke into his home and attempted to kill him. What would you do? Now let him answer that question first. I'll answer another question. And then when he comes back, we'll finish his answer, all right?
Go. Your second question, this is from Alazar.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Salaki, my Lord, can you help me with understanding on who transgressed? Was it Adam or Eve? In 1 Timothy 2:14 and 2 Ezra 7:11.
It was Eve.
Oh,
Eve is the one that transgressed, not Adam. Eve is the one that transgressed. Why was it Eve? Because Eve was the one that was beguiled of Satan. Do you understand? Adam was not beguiled of Satan, which is why Satan did not go to Adam, but he went to Eve. If Satan came to Adam, Adam would say, hey, you are Satan. You are a demon. You are of these other nations. You're wicked. I'm not listening to you. That's why Satan never went to him. Satan went to a woman. Now, what Adam didn't do is treat the words of that woman as if they were coming from Satan, as if they were coming from an enemy, as if they were coming from another nation. Many of you don't know this out there in the world, but the serpent in the Garden of Eden was a man. It was another nation, similar to our oppressor, the devil that we have right here in America today. Eve was beguiled of that demon, of that person, not Adam. If that's your question, that's your answer. Anything else?
Khan, this is from Officer Kassar Bakad. He says, "Shalom, General. If I may have a general breakdown of Matthew 23 and 6 and 9. Someone asked, why do we still call men our fathers in the school?"
Okay, ask him this question. Does he have a father? If he's ready, if he doesn't, and then what does he call him? When he gets to answer, then I'll go back to that question. All right, anything else?
That was it on that.
All right, no more questions, right?
Sir, you replied, Tom, he doesn't have a father. He calls his father.
Why do you do that? What's the precept he pulled?
In Matthew 23.
Why do you do that based on Matthew 23? Why would you call your father a father? When Matthew 23 says not to do that. Whenever he's ready, he can answer that question. Any other questions?
Lots.
All right. Let's go to one second.
So like you said, Khan, sir, it also mentions rabbi as well.
Yeah. Why do you call your father father? Because of what it says in Matthew 23. That was my question, Warrior. Why would you do that? When Matthew, what verse was it again?
Matthew 23 and 6 and 9.
Why would you call your father father when you've read Matthew 26 and 6 to 9? Why would you do that? Let me get my other topic together. Stand by. I got some all nations precepts for you if you need that. Somebody called me about that.
He said because he is my father, that's why he called him.
But Matthew 23 and 6 and 9 says, call no man father. That's what it says. It says that. Read it for me, Dad.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 9. And call no man your father.
No man in the U.P.K.
And no man your father.
No man in the school.
And no man your father.
No man who's in your religious group.
And call no man your father upon the earth.
Upon the what?
Upon the earth.
One more time.
Upon the earth.
Young brother, is your daddy upon the earth? Your daddy is not in the U.P.K, but your daddy is upon the earth. I'll ask you again. Why would you be calling your father father based on Matthew 23 and 6 and 9 when your daddy is on the earth? I'm asking you this question. Just try to answer it. It's not a big deal. Just ask it. Why would you be doing that? Huh? Why? Okay. Let me see. Okay, I got some all nations precepts for you, right? If you need those, somebody called me about those. Also, I got some precepts for fake Israelite groups that say we have to do this. We have to continue in this sin until we get in the kingdom. Who's heard that before? Like, we're going to do this, but in the kingdom, we're going to stop. You heard that before? I'm trying to word it in the way they word it. They word it like, well, yeah, that's wrong now. But in the kingdom, that's when we're going to do it right. So, yeah, we're supposed to. I don't believe in Christ. And we're sinning by, by doing this sin and by doing that sin. But that sin is allowed until we get in the kingdom. But in the kingdom, that's going to change. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? They say that all the time, right? About various things. Well, yeah, in the kingdom, that's when that's going to get worked out. I'm going to give you a precept to prove that that is a lie. That's a lie, that you're supposed to allow this sin, because in the kingdom, we're going to get everything worked out. I think fake Israelites say that we're coming back into the truth as well. They say, well, the camps, we can't leave our piss-ant little Israelite group and come back into the U.P.K. But in the kingdom, we're all going to be unified. That's a lie. You don't make the kingdom until you stop sinning now. If you continue to sin, you're not going to ever make the kingdom to stop the sin that you're doing now. I'm going to give you a precept on that. You might have to think of the exact thing that fake Israelites say. I haven't talked to one in 25 years or something. You die.
But good, Marshall Moore brought up a good point. That's like when they say we can't celebrate the Passover because we in captivity.
Yes, that's what I'm asking about. Give my Shamar a hand. Fake Israelites say, well, listen, in the kingdom, we're going to celebrate the Passover. But of course, the Bible says you have to do it in every generation. But they say, we're not going to do it now, but in the kingdom, we'll celebrate it. That is a lie. There is no sin that you are allowed to commit until the kingdom gets here. That is a lie. The only way you make the kingdom is because you keep the commandments in a foreign land. You keep the commandments far from home. You keep the commandments in captivity. That's the only way to be delivered out of captivity. I'm going to give you that precept as well. Anything else online?
Sister wanted to know if the Most High hear the prayers of heathens.
Does the Most High hear the prayers of heathens? Absolutely, if they pray correctly. You heathens out there listening, you white people, a lot of my white friends out there, a lot of my African friends, Chinese, Asian, of random variety, the Most High absolutely will hear your prayers if you pray correctly. There's a right way to pray if you're a heathen, and there's a wrong way to pray if you're a heathen. When I say heathen, I mean someone other than Black and Hispanic and so-called North American Indian, all right? What is that right way to pray? That right way to pray is in Mark, the 7th chapter, I believe. Is it 7, where the Greek woman came to Christ to heal her daughter? This is a Greek woman, for those of you out there listening. A Greek woman, a Syrophoenician by nation. She lived in Syrophoenicia, which was a land occupied and controlled by the Greeks in the Middle East. And she went to Christ about her daughter because her daughter was very sick. A lot of you out there, you might be one of my white friends. You have that, you might have a family member who's a methamphetamine addict or an Oxycontin addict. Your daughter might have an Oxycontin addiction that is destroying her, a methamphetamine addiction. Your wife might have cancer. Your sons and daughters might have leukemia and those diseases that they ask for money for on the TV every day, with the little kids that get sick and they need money at the St. Jude's Institute and the Ronald McDonald House. Your children might be sick if you're a white person out there. God can heal your child. God can help the children of white people. He can do that. But you have to ask for it in the right way, white people. All right? And I'll teach you how to do it today. Go ahead and read.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 26. The woman was a Greek.
The woman was a what?
A Greek.
This was a Greek woman. Read to me about why she came to Jesus Christ.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 25. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit.
Her daughter had an unclean spirit. Now, what is an unclean spirit? You want to imagine something. Her daughter had a demon. Think about the demons and the sicknesses that they cause in children. It might have been, like Helen Keller, had severe autism, nonverbal, screaming or crying all day, or had some illness of her mind that afflicted this little white child. And this woman loves her little white child. This is her daughter, and she loves this girl. And so she went to Jesus Christ because she heard about his healing ability. And her daughter had a demon, had an unclean spirit. So she went to him. She didn't care that he was black. Let me tell you white people out there that want to be healed and you want God to answer your prayers, you cannot reject Christ because he's black. So many of you, that's why you reject Jesus Christ. That's why you invented that white Jesus. Because that's the only Jesus that you can respect as a person. A Jesus that looks like you. Step one for white people being able to have God hear their prayers, you cannot reject Jesus Christ simply because he's a black man. You can't do that. You have to accept a black Jesus, which is what this woman did. She saw him in person. She walked straight over to him. She didn't say, I can't do this. He's a black man. I can't do this. She went to that black man and she begged him to help her daughter. If you are a white woman and you have a sick child, or a white man and you have a sick wife or a sick child, the first thing you have to do is deal with Jesus Christ face to face. What do I mean by that? Deal with his race. Accept his race. Jesus Christ is a black man. Step one. Keep going.
For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet.
She heard of him. She heard about the power he had to heal the sick. And what did she do? She came to him and did what?
And came and fell at his feet.
She fell at his feet. Here's step two to getting your prayers answered if you're white. You better humble yourself. See, white people, they're born with a great deal of pride. Ooh, they're proud. That's why they had to change the color of Jesus Christ to look like them. To look like them. Because they could never pray to a God or serve a Jesus that didn't look like the person they see in the mirror. They could not do that. They weren't like black people. Black people love the white Jesus more than they ever loved the black one. Black people love the white Jesus. The brother showed me yesterday in 1969, Ebony magazine put a black picture of Jesus on the cover of Ebony magazine. I used to read that magazine. I preferred Jet magazine. Ask your father why. But Ebony magazine was famous, more famous than Jet magazine. Ebony magazine put a black picture of Jesus on the cover. Show the people out there you died. In 1969, and the magazine almost had to shut down and lost their publishing because black people were so angry that they put a black picture of Jesus on a black magazine. The magazine almost shut down. Almost shut down because black people demanded that they put the white picture of Jesus on the front of a black magazine. You see, black people have never had a problem with serving a white Jesus. Black people have never had a problem with worshiping a white God. Well, white people, if you want God to answer your prayers, you are going to have to accept that God is black, Jesus is black, and you are going to have to humble yourself before your black overlords. That is the key to getting your prayers answered. You'll have to do what black people did to the white Jesus. We accepted it. We prayed to that white God. We got angry when Command General YAHANNA sent men out on the street to tell black people that Jesus was black. Black people hated us for it because they had humbled themselves unto a white God, a white Jesus. White people, you're going to have to humble yourself unto a black God if you want your prayers answered. Here's a picture right here. The magazine damn near shut down. You can read the story about it. It almost destroyed the magazine. What year? 1969. That's the year that this happened. All right, that's when the truth was born in that year, and it was coming out. This magazine almost folded. Read the story about it when you Google it. Keep going.
This is the book, the Mark 7, verse 26. The woman was a Greek.
She was a what?
A Greek.
She was a Greek woman. Go ahead.
A Syro-Phoenician by nation.
Keep going.
And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter.
She begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. She humbled herself. She begged him, laid flat on the ground in front of him, like those good white people do with us at camps. When we speak all over the world in Great Britain, when we speak all over the world in Trinidad, all over the United States, good white folks, they get down on their knees before us, man. Why? Because they want God to hear their prayers. Those are good white people. Continue.
Verse 27. But Jesus said unto her,
But Jesus said to her, she said, Lord, please heal my daughter. But Jesus said to her, go ahead.
let the children first be filled.
He said, let the children first be filled. That's what he said. So she's saying, Lord, can you please help me? Can you help my family? Can you help my daughter? Jesus Christ said, first, I have to help the children first. That is the third step. If you want your prayers to be answered by God and you're a white person, first, you have to accept that God has to help blacks and Hispanics first. They come first. And you should say that to God. If your son is a methamphetamine addict or Cody, what's those drugs white people love? Meth, right? Or Oxycontin or something like that, right? Or your child is one of those lunatics that's going to shoot up somebody's school. A lot of your white kids are going to shoot somebody's school up. You know that. You know that because you know your father or your husband beat your son so much that now your son is going to go shoot the school up because he was beaten by his drunk father and tied to a wall, took him out hunting every damn week, and now your son is going to kill everybody in school. Your son has an unclean spirit. And you white mothers out there, you're praying for your son. When you go to pray, make sure that you say in your prayer, Lord, please help my son. But first, help black people. First, help La Raza. First, help Los Españoles. First, help the children. First, help the children of God. Say that in your prayer. Don't just jump ahead of the line and ask God to help your sick white child because the Lord will be offended. So you want to, in your prayer, say, Lord, my daughter needs your help. She's in the Ronald McDonald House. She's sick with cancer. First, however, help the Hispanics not be deported. Please protect them from ICE. Please protect them, Lord. Say that, white people. That's how you get your prayers answered. Care about little black children first, above your white children. Put black children above your white children in your prayers. And then your prayers will be answered by God. I'm reading it here from the Bible now. Jesus Christ said, first, let the children be filled. Continue.
For it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs.
Oh boy, white people, here's the last one that you need. Jesus Christ said, because it's not good. The word meat means good. It is not good to take the children bread. You see, this metaphor is a metaphor of a child eating at a table, and there's a dog at the bottom of the table. Any of you that have ever had a dog in your life, that's what happens. If you're sitting down for dinner, your child is eating dinner. The dog will be sitting right at the bottom of the table, looking up, waiting for something to what? Who knows if you've ever had a dog before? Young brother. Waiting for something to fall on the ground. And he knows because it's a child, what's going to happen? The child is always dropping something on the ground when they eat all the time. So the dog will sit right by the kid, knowing that that baby is going to drop some food on the ground. That's this metaphor that Christ is using. See, I have to feed the children at the table first. That's blacks and Hispanics. And it is not good to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. That's what Jesus Christ said. Jesus Christ called a white woman a dog when she asked for her child to be healed. She begged him. She laid on the ground in front of him. She besought him. And he said, first, I have to take care of the children of God because it's not good to heal your daughter. And because your daughter is a dog. And it's wrong for me to do that. The children at the table have to eat first. What was his response? My white friends out there, if you can get this part, God will heal your children. And God will answer your prayers. What was her response to being called a dog? Her daughter being called a dog. Please.
Verse 28. And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord.
What was her answer?
Yes, Lord.
What was her answer?
Yes, Lord.
My white friends out there listening, I know you have a lot of problems out there. I know you're poor. I know you never thought you would ever be poor because you're white. You thought that you would live an amazing, rich life because you thought that your skin and your privilege would help you to have money. That's why you voted for Donald Trump, because you know something is wrong with this world if white people have to be poor. I know you know that. You know this world, we got to make America great again because I'm white and I'm poor. This cannot be right. You didn't think life would end up like this for you. You might want to drink a little less beer. That might help you. It might help you to drink less of that Miller and that Budweiser. It might help you to stop being such a drunk and to get off of that OxyContin and those prescription drugs. That might have something to do with your poverty. I don't know if Donald Trump can help you with that. But anyway, you know that life is bad for you. If you want life to be better, you're going to have to first accept that God is black. Jesus is black. You're going to have to humble yourself to that black God, to that black King, Jesus Christ. You're going to have to fall on your face before him. And you're going to have to make sure that you pray for blacks and Hispanics above your own sick child, above your own sick loved one. Let God know that you know that your child is not as important as a Hispanic child. Let God know that. Let God know that, God, I'm asking for my white child to get healed, but I know that my white child is not as important as a black or Hispanic child, Lord. I know that. And I recognize that I am a dog. That's how you get your prayers answered. Read.
Yes, Lord. Yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs.
Yes, Lord. Yet the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs that they drop on the floor. I am a dog. I am a dog. But can a dog eat the crumbs that the children drop on the floor? This was the response of Jesus Christ.
Verse 29. And he said unto her, for this saying.
For what?
For this saying.
For this saying. Go ahead.
Go thy way.
Go.
The devil is gone out of thy daughter.
He answered her prayer. Can God answer the prayers of white people? Absolutely. The problem is you haven't needed God for so long because you've had a military and you've had the banks and you've had redlining and you've had the housing system and you've had the grant funds and you've had all of the land purges. You've had all the land in the West that was given to you because you were white, that black people could not get. They couldn't get the GI loan. Black people were barred from getting the GI loan. Black people were barred from getting the land grab out west. And if you were a white European, you could just come over here and take 50 acres of land if you can get to it first. Go look it up. So you haven't needed God for so long because your killing ability and your military ability is what saved your life. But we're in the last days now, and even white people are going to need God now. You're going to need God too. So you better start praying better. You better pray like this. You understand, white people? Let a white person type 1W in the chat. If you're white, put a 1W in the chat to let me know you understand, all right? Anything else? Next question. Próximo preguntas.
God said, Slaga, sir, if I may, he said, I heard the breakdown of Matthew 23:9 and agreed that it is Tawab. I wanted to break down the verse down to
Where's the cat that asked the question now?
He's clarifying. He said he wanted to break it down to a young man.
Oh.
I wanted to give the proper context.
Oh, okay. So the brother that asked the question was in the school. Okay, I didn't realize that. All right. So you want to break it down to a young man. The best way to understand is to understand why you call your own father a father, even though you read Matthew 23:6. When you read Matthew 23:6, you know it's not talking about your dad, right? Which is why you still call your dad. What you don't want to be in the Bible is a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite is so natural. You don't want to be a hypocrite. You don't want to think, wait, I read in the Bible where we're not supposed to call any man Lord or Father. Why are people in the U.P.K. doing that? Yes, Daddy. Are you? Yes, come on, Daddy. If you're calling someone dad every day, then you can't say that the U.P.K. is wrong for calling someone Lord, because that would make you a hypocrite. So what I did is what you should do to the young man. If he thinks it's wrong to call his father, father, then okay, then he believes that this is saying you can't call your father father. But if he calls his father dad or father, then he doesn't believe that this precept is saying you can call no man father. Who even knows at all what I'm talking about? I believe no one knows what the hell I'm saying. I'm going to move on with that assumption. You don't want to be a hypocrite. You don't want to say that you think this means one thing when really you do not think it means that. Do you understand it all? Anyone out there, put a 1W in to tell me. So if you know that it's not referring to your father, it's not referring to your camp leader either. Do you understand? It's not referring to Commanding General YAHANNA, just like it's not referring to your father. It's the same exact premise. You believe it's not referring to your physical father? You're right. It's not referring to you, the officers above you either, who are your Adawanyam, who are your lords, who are your Commanding General YAHANNA is your father in Christ. That's in the Bible. That's a quote from the scriptures. For I have birthed you all in the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's in the Bible. When it says call no man father, call no man Lord, I'll break it down for you if I have 1 second. Go ahead and pull it again. Read it for him.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 9. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father which is in heaven.
Call no man your father. Read the whole thing, Lord, the whole thing, master, everything.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, and verse 6. And love the uttermost rooms and feasts.
Skip down one for time.
Verse 7. And greetings in the markets.
Skip down. Go right to and call no man.
Verse 8. But be not ye called rabbi.
Be ye not called rabbi. What does rabbi mean? Teacher. That's what that term means. Keep going.
For one is your master.
For one is your master. So it's saying, don't call any man master, for one is your master. Keep going.
Even Christ.
Even Christ. Keep going.
And all ye are brethren.
And all of you are brothers. Keep going.
Verse 9. And call no man your father upon the earth.
And call no man your father upon the earth. Keep going.
For one is your father which is in heaven.
For one is your father which is in heaven. So you're reading all of this. Many fake Israelites will look at this and go, well, the rank system that they have in the U.P.K. is wrong. Call U.P.K., we have always called the men above us Adawan. Adawan is as old as that ebony picture. That's how old that term is. We've always done that in the U.P.K. all the time. We've always said that this man is a teacher in the U.P.K. We've always done that. And of course, we would call our father at home as well. We would call him father as well, because we know what this is actually talking about. You see, simply reading the Bible without being taught it properly is like understanding the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law. You're simply reading the words, but you don't understand the words, which is why you can always confound someone in this precept if you just ask them, do you call your father at home? I've done this 1,000 times. Everyone that has ever challenged me on this precept, I say, do you call your father father? They go, uh-huh. Yeah, I do. Well, why do you do that when it says no man on earth? They don't understand. All they're thinking about is cutting us. They're not thinking about their own hypocrisy when it is impossible to cut us. It cannot happen. Not by you, young brother. Not by you. It is not talking about that. When it says call no man master, call no man father, is there any more call no mans right there?
Verse 10. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ.
Of course, in the same Bible, it says, obey your masters. That's right. That's a thing in Hebrews. You want to pull that for context sake? Where the Bible says, obey your masters in the Lord. If you haven't, you can read it on your own. That's not a contradiction at all, because what this precept is saying is no one is actually your master at all. God is your master. These men who are under you, these men who are above you, they do not supersede God's authority. So this man is just a man. The only reason he is above me is because he represents God. It's not because of him or his ability or his speaking ability or something about him. There isn't anybody that's my master. I have one master. So if I'm obeying this brother, it's because he is correct with the Bible. That's it. It's not because his family is rich. It's not because he's some aristocrat. It's not because he comes from a better neighborhood. It's because he obeys God. I have one master, and that's God. I have one father. So my father comes to me, and my father tells me, leave the truth. Come to the Christian church. You know you grew up Christian. You know what you tell your father? I have one father, and that's the Most High God. Some man comes above you. I come in here one night, and I say, I'm General Mahayaman. Leave the truth. You can only have one wife and start wearing purple. Can you listen to me? No, you tell me, General Mahayaman, I have one master, and that is the Most High. That's Christ. You don't ever obey a man above God, ever. You don't do that. The minute that that man leaves the Lord, he's lost authority. The only authority he has is the authority that he has based in the Most High. The minute he betrays it, the minute he leaves the truth, he loses any authority he had. This is the point of why Paul was teaching this, because at this time, brothers were leaving the truth. They were leaving him. They were listening to heretics. They were listening to other people who were telling them to worship angels, who were forbidding them who were telling them to abstain from meat that the Most High God made to be received, meaning they were forcing men to become vegetarians. Paul had to deal with heresies. So he's saying, don't call any man father. Don't call any man master. Don't you be called teacher. Don't ever think that this person has to obey you because of you. These men that take my orders in the U.P.K, it has nothing to do with me at all. I'm irrelevant. Before I was sitting here, there was someone else here serving under Commanding General YAHANNA. Before him, it was somebody else. Before Commanding General YAHANNA was in the truth, it was someone else. The person is irrelevant. What matters is the authority he has comes from his adherence to God's law. It's not him. That's the point of this. It's not your father. Your father doesn't supersede the Bible. No officer, no captain, no general supersedes the Bible. No one. The minute they leave it, they've lost any authority that they have. That includes your daddy at home. Everyone understands. All right. Próximo preguntas. You want to give him obey your masters? If you got that, you can give it to him. All right. Next. Próximo.
Go, sir. This is from Officer Warren. He says, Shalom, Lord Christ. May I have a breakdown of John chapter 12, verse 20. I would like to know if the Greeks in this context are referring to Israelites, given they're not allowed to be at the Passover for water, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 12, verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Verse 21. The same came therefore to Philip, which was at Bethsaida of Galilee. And
The precept for the masters one is Ephesians 6:5-9, all right, where you're told to obey your masters. Give the officer that one to show the young brothers, all right? We can move on. He has it. Go ahead.
and desired him, saying,
I'm sorry, what's his question about this?
Sir, he wants to know if these were Israelites.
All right, go ahead.
and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Verse 22. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. Verse 23. And Jesus answered them, saying, The hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into...
Let me hear the Greek part to take me to the question.
This is the book of John, chapter 12, verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Verse 21. The same came therefore to Philip, which was at Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we will see Jesus. Verse 22. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Jesus. Verse 23. And Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified.
I'm missing the part. He said something they couldn't come to the Passover. Did I miss that?
Come, sir. His question was, I would like to know if the Greeks in this context are referring to Israelites, given they were not allowed to be at the Passover.
I didn't hear about the Passover. Am I missing it?
Yeah,
In the
right.
back.
So I believe what the brother is trying to say is in verse 20, it says that the Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. So I believe he's saying that the feast.
Okay. Oh, I got him now. So he's saying because they came to the Passover,
Right.
they must be Israelites because otherwise they couldn't come to the Passover. I get it now. He's correct. These are Israelites who lived in Greece. That's what they are. Correct. They're just like you and I. This is you and I. These are brothers that we're not from Jerusalem. You're from North Philly or from Brooklyn or from Miami or Guatemala, and you want to celebrate the Passover, and you're allowed to because you're an Israelite by blood. Correct. Next.
Come, sir. This is from YAHUAH from Louisiana. He says, Salaki General, if I could, with your grace, Baba Kushal, you give a breakdown of Jeremiah 8 and verse 1 through 4.
No problem, Mark. Absolutely. Jeremiah 8, 1 through 4. You got it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, 8 and verse 1. At that time, saith the Lord, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets.
Go up to 2.
Jeremiah 8 and 2. Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah, 8 and verse 2. And they shall spread them before the sun and the moon, and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved, and whom they have served.
Yeah, this is a prophecy about the destruction of the leaders of Israel and Judah because they worship strange gods. They worship the host of heaven. What's the host of heaven? Every astrological sign, every planet in the sky. You worship Saturn and Mars and Venus and Neptune. You worshiped all of those things. So now all of these bones are going to lay out in front of the stars that you worshiped. Since you preferred to worship the sun, the moon, the constellations in the sky, instead of worshiping the one God that created them. So now those stars you'll be laid out in front of those stars, laid out flat on the ground, your bones being dried by the very sun you worshipped. Keep going.
And all the host of heaven, whom they have loved, and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought.
You see, Christianity started off as sun worship. That's why it's worshipped on Sunday. That's why there's a glow or a halo behind every Christian picture, because every Christian deity is about worshiping the sun. That's the entire religion. It's the worship of the sun. Well, one day the sun will dry your dead bones. Dry them out. Because you preferred the sun instead of worshiping the God that created the sun. Continue. Islam is the worship of the moon, which is why the symbol of Islam is the crescent moon. Right? Well, since you love the moon so much, the moonlight will be the only thing that shines any light on your dead body at night. Continue.
In whom they have worshipped, they shall not be gathered, nor be buried.
You're not going to be buried. You're going to lay out and be dried up by the sun. Keep going.
They shall be for the dung upon the face of the earth.
You know what dung is. That's going to be your dead body because you prefer to worship the stars and the moon. And like you dummies out there with that astrological sign, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're not like your grandmother who was ignorant and couldn't read. Black people couldn't read for years. It was illegal for black people and Hispanics to read. So I can certainly understand your ignorance years ago, but what in the hell is wrong with you now? You got a whole encyclopedia in your pocket. Everywhere you go, you can find out the answer to anything. What's the capital of Denmark? Everyone in the room knows the capital of Denmark. What is the capital of Denmark? I'll give you a harder one. Slovenia. Give me the capital of Slovenia. Where does Donald Trump's wife come from? Slovenia, Slovakia. Let's start with Denmark. What's the capital of Denmark? Please, young brother.
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. He's right. Give him a hand. Yeah, you see that? See, that's what you could do. There is nothing that you don't know. Nothing. There is no question. How far away is the sun from the planet Earth? Same young brother. You see him, you must be super intelligent to get the capital of Denmark right. How far away is the sun from the planet Earth? Same brother. I'll drink while we wait. Somebody else has it. There's a ton of geniuses in there. Oh, same brother. You got it.
9,591,545 miles.
Right again. Give him a hand. He's a genius. You see, you don't have to be ignorant. You choose to be ignorant. You love ignorance. You're worshiping your astrological sign because you're just ignorant, but not because you have to be. Your grandmother had no choice. Your great-grandfather had no choice. You just are a lazy, disgusting pig, and you don't want to know anything. You choose not to know anything. Everybody gets it, right? No, I know you don't. Go ahead and keep going.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 3. And death shall be chosen rather than life.
Death shall be chosen rather than life. Everybody understands that. That's what's happening right now. You choose to die. You don't have to. Death is an absolute choice. What about the brother earlier that asked me the question about depression? What happened to him? He done killed himself already. You should have kept stay on the class. Don't leave the class. Answer the question from earlier. I was a question I asked him. I asked him, what if someone broke into his house and tried to kill him? What would he do? I'm waiting for the answer. All right, keep going.
God. And death shall be chosen rather than life.
That's what happens. Death shall be chosen rather than life. You would think someone would choose to live. No, that's not what happens. They choose to die. And that's why you worship these strange and stupid gods that you worship. Continue.
By all the residue of them that remain of this evil family.
There you go. Keep going. Now go right to the question, the precept that the person asked.
It
Was that the question? It was something about Judah and something and bones and something. Judah, kings of Judah.
it was from Jeremiah.
Did I answer it already? Let's move on. Go ahead. Anything else, you die?
Sir. This is from Officer 1. Says, sir, can I get a general breakdown of Proverbs 16 and 27?
Of course. Go ahead.
God. This is the book of Proverbs 16 and verse 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil.
So you want to kind of visualize this up. You got a man, first of all, you know what kind of man he is. He's ungodly, right? He does not love the Lord. He is a wicked man, and he digs up evil. So you watch this evil man. He's digging up evil. Go ahead.
And in his lips.
And in his lips, go ahead.
There is as a burning fire.
There is as a burning fire. That's the metaphor we're using. Where did this burning fire come from? He dug it up. He dug it up. It came from the earth. This is yet another precept to show you that smoking is considered evil or ungodly in the Bible. It's comparing it here to gossip and things that you say in your mouth, out of your mouth, that's wicked. And it's comparing it to smoking. Because the same way that if a person, you got some people that might gossip or lie, that is just like digging up something from the earth and putting it in your mouth and smoking it. Disgusting. horrible, vile, ungodly. Smoking is ungodly. Come on.
Yeah, if I may, sir, you know, it's just like how, yeah, like how you just said that, you know, a lot of people choose, you know, death rather than to live.
Yeah.
You know, like you can look it up on Google and see how many people, you know, have died due to, you know, cancer.
Forget about it.
You know what I'm saying? Drugs and this.
Yeah,
man.
man.
People just don't care.
No.
They just still smoke, even though the statistics shows there that tons of people have died from smoking.
And they smoke in front of their children too. Did you know about that? They smoke in front of their children. They turn their car into a hot smoke box. You get into somebody's car, you think that car is the new crack house. We used to have these things called crack houses, young brothers. And everybody would be in there all smoking, trapped up in some house. Your crack house now is your car. You roll those windows up in your car, and that car just becomes your crack house. And it's a car seat in the back. Like there's a car seat in the back of the car that you smoke in every day. So when your child gets into that car, your child can get a contact high. You don't love your child. You love getting high, right? This is a precept about smoking weed. There are other ones too about lighting incense unto other gods. All right, anything else?
This is from Deandra. Sister says, "Like y'all want to go for sure. Can I please get a breakdown of Matthew 17 and verse 21?"
No problem. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Matthew, 17, verse 21. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting.
This is a time when Jesus Christ sent his disciples out in twos, in teams of twos. He sent them out in 6 teams of twos to go out and do a speaking in various locations throughout the area. When they came back, they told him how they encountered someone that had a demon, and they could not cast the demon out. And as they were telling him the story, Jesus Christ knew that if you had faith, you could cast demons out. The reason that you cannot cast out these demons is because you don't have enough faith, right? Which means you're not working hard enough. Because you're not working hard enough, that's why you're not able to do this. Howbeit, the kind that you tried to cast out today does not come out without fasting and praying. What does that mean? For this demon to come out, someone who is involved in the casting out has to go on a fast and has to pray. Who could do it? You could do it, or the person with the demon could do it. But someone has to do it. Someone has to say, this is a powerful demon here. You might have something might be happening with someone you love and they're going through something terrible. And you go, man, I'm going on a fast because I want the Most High to heal this person. I want the Lord God to help them. So I'm going on a fast. I'm going to pray and I'm going to go on a fast that the Most High God would help me in the deliverance of this person. Or you're the person and you smoke cigarettes or you smoke weed or you're some type of deviant and you don't want to be one anymore. And you say, I'm coming to class. The brothers are praying with me. The brothers are teaching me the scriptures. But I'm going on a fast so that I can assist the men who heal me in getting this demon out. Someone has to do it. It's a team effort to cast out a demon out. A team effort. You see that woman? That white woman wanted her daughter to be healed. Who's involved in the healing process? What's the team? Her. Because she went to Jesus Christ. She laid at his feet. She begged him and she accepted being a dog. Who else is involved? Jesus Christ is involved. He's the one that's saying, yes, I'm going to heal your daughter. Who else is involved? The daughter is involved. She has to want it. It's a team effort to get a demon out of someone. You want to heal someone of drug addiction? That needs a team, brothers. That needs a team. The priest, the school, the person who has the addiction. Captain.
Yes, sir. If I may, also in mental health, you go to your sessions, you have a therapist, they have a doctor, you have a social worker, and what they all do, they all work together to try to, get those demons off of that man or woman.
That's what happened.
The same thing happens today.
Give him a hand. That's the truth. So that's what Jesus Christ is saying. He's saying, howbeit, this don't come out without fasting and praying. So this is gonna take some work. So you went out today, the demon didn't leave this person. Well, this demon ain't coming out like that. This demon, that person is gonna have to start coming to class. You're gonna have to start praying. You go on a fast, they go on a fast, they keep coming to class. This one takes the team ethic. This one is gonna take teamwork because this is a strong one. Everybody understands. All right, go ahead. Anything else? Próximo. I'm sorry. Then otra vez.
This is from.
Just one finger, please. All right.
Sister Sarah, she says,
You can tighten that up.
"How much YAHUSHUA, sir? Islam is served by me. How many days are you unclean if you attend a funeral with a body present?
7 days. If you are in the room with a dead body or the house of a dead body, you're unclean for 7 days if you do that. Which is why Jesus Christ did not allow Peter to attend his father's funeral, because Jesus Christ only had a short amount of time to do his work. Historians say he had about 3 years. He did everything that was written about him and things that are not written about him that he did anyway. And he had 3 years to do it. So there was no time for Peter to be unclean for 7 days. You understand? All right. Anything else?
Sir. Same sister asked, Islam is served by me. If it's a memorial and the ashes are in an urn, are you still unclean?
No. If the body has been cremated, then the body is from dust she came and dust she shall return. It's not a dead body anymore. The Bible says you cannot touch the carcass of any unclean thing. Yet you can walk on grass. When grass is all dead things. That's what dirt is. Dirt is the millions and millions of carcasses of creeping and crawling animals everywhere. Every dead bird and dead mouse and dead rat that lives outside. That's what soil is. That's what dirt is. The dirt is dead animals. That's what it is. If a body has been cremated, it's dirt. It's no different than the dirt that you walk on at the park, because that is what's in the dirt. You get my point. Every snake that you cannot touch, if it was dead in front of you, once that snake dies in that grass and becomes the grass, becomes the dirt, you can walk on the grass because it's not a dead animal anymore. It's denatured to the point that it's dirt. So absolutely, you're not unclean if you walk into a house where someone has an urn of some dead ashes. It is not an Israelite thing to do, however. Okay, but you're not unclean, but you should never bury, you should never cremate someone who believes in the U.P.K, who's One West. You should never do something like that. It's an insult to do something like that to them. If you're in the world, do whatever you want. You know, if people in the world want to do what they want to do with their dead bodies, do whatever they want. Who cares? Many times in the truth, a brother or a sister will die and their wicked family in the world will not allow us to give them a proper burial, usually because of money, even though Commanding General YAHANNA always volunteers to pay for the funeral. But the family doesn't want us involved with the funeral. That's another thing, man, that shows me how wicked people in the world are. Let me tell you, there is nothing more evil than a person in the world. People outside of this school are just wicked. I'm telling you, they're disgustingly evil, and you're going to see one day if you don't know. You know, we went through this recently. We've been through it 4 or 5 times this week. Someone dies. The person is in the truth. And we go to the family, and we knew the brother well, and we know he didn't want to be cremated. We know he wanted a priest burial. The family says, I hate y'all. I don't want nothing to do with y'all. You can't come to the funeral, and we're going to cremate him. And you know what the U.P.K always says? No problem. You can have the body. We had the brother. No sweat. Do whatever you want. And I think to myself every time, what if a person in the truth died, would someone in the U.P.K ever tell their family that they cannot come to the funeral? Would we ever do something like that? Do you understand my point? Do you quite get me? You understand me, Ibad? Imagine someone in the truth is dead, and their mother and father hate the U.P.K, but the brother or the sister died, and their family always hated us, but then the brother dies. Would we ever tell the family, you can't come to the funeral? You can't come. We would never do that ever to anyone. We would never bar a Christian from coming to someone that they love's funeral. Never. Christians always do it to us every time. Every time. And we would never do that to them. We would never tell someone's brother who hates us that they can't come to their brother's funeral because he's in the U.P.K, because we're burying him and we don't want you here because you're a Christian. We don't want you here because you're a Muslim. We would never do that. Christians do it to us all the time, so much so that you have to get used to it. It just reminds me every day on the reason that your son did not want to be like you, that your loved one did not want to be like you because he knew that you were evil. And that's why he didn't want to be like you. That's why he came to us. That's why we had him. That's why we became his family, because he knew that you were the kind of people that if he would die, you would keep the brothers who he loved from his burial. I see why your son never wanted to grow up like you. You can have the body. We had the brother. I pray you understand. Next.
Sister Deandra asked, YAHUAH, how are some ways today that the first and second commandment are broken, sir?
What's the first and second commandment? Love the Lord thy God. What's the second? It means, is she talking about the 10 commandments? Or is she talking about the greatest of all commandments? What's the first two of the 10 commandments? Just to make sure she's not talking about those. It might be the same thing.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, in verse 3.
You sound right.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Go ahead. What's two?
Verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Just to double check, just make sure she's not talking about this. Let her answer, all right? I'll get to the next question. Are you talking about the two greatest commandments, or are you talking about number 1 and number 2 of the 10 commandments? Just specify, all right? Anything else?
Come on, sir. This is from Officer Malakma.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Slakia, sir, if you could vote for Shaw, if I can get a breakdown on 1 Chronicles 12 and 32.
Mm-hmm.
When it says the children of Issachar had an understanding of the times, that was in regards, he's asking if that was in regards to warfare.
That's absolutely in regards to warfare. That's what that's speaking about. When they understood the time, that's talking about their skill in war, their skill in being military tacticians, correct? They knew when to go to war. They knew about the seasons and the month changing and the right time to go to fight. There's a season that's better for war. You want to fight in the springtime when the tide is high or when the tide is low. And Issachar understood that, brother. They're excellent warriors. Always were, still are today. Anything else?
That's it so far, sir.
What about the brother who's going to kill it, who had this killing himself or depression or something? He's already gone. All right. His family probably are not going to let us come to the funeral. But let's move on. For those of you out there, if you want to learn how to fight depression, I'll answer the question for you. Ibad, you got the microphone? If someone tried to break into your home and with a mask on and went to try to kill you, what would you do?
Defend yourself, sir.
You would defend yourself. Sisters, you're women. You're not strong or mighty, but if someone broke into your home and they tried to harm you, what would you do? You defend yourself, right? It's just human nature. It doesn't matter how small. The baby would defend herself. The baby would scream, would yell, right? Every living thing. A dog would bark. Every living thing would do something to save its life. Depression is so evil because depression is an enemy that is inside of you. And because it's inside of you, you forget to defend yourself. When you would not forget that if they were standing in front of you with a knife. This same brother, people do it all the time. People who are suicidal, if you try to fight them in the bar, they're going to fight you. They're going to fight you. They're going to be sitting there drunk in the bar, drinking, wanting to die. Go over to him and push him. He's going to get up off of that bar stool and fight. He's going to swing and punch and kick. He's going to do that. People go into the white man's military. And in Afghanistan and Iraq, they're trying to shoot them in Afghanistan. What do? They defend themselves in Afghanistan. They shoot the Taliban and they shoot terrorists and they shoot enemies abroad. That same soldier comes home to his city and does what, sister? Do you know? Oh boy, you better ask him. Someone that went and fought a war in the military, the white man's military. They fought, they were dodging bullets, dodging bombs and IUDs and fighting. Then they get out of the white man's military and they come home and do what? Microphone. And they kill themselves. You understand? If the person had a AK-47 in front of them, they would shoot the person. They would duck. They would run. But when the enemy trying to kill you is inside of you, you don't defend yourself. Here's the first thing to do when you have depression. Defend yourself. Defend yourself. Fight. Fight as if it's a person who's trying to kill you, because someone is trying to kill you. The only confusing part is you are trying to kill you. Fight yourself like you would an enemy. Fight yourself. Now, how do you fight yourself? You fight yourself. If it was a person, you would fight yourself with fists and punches and weapons. How do you fight a voice in your mind? With voices outside of your mind. That's how you fight voices in your mind. There's a voice in my mind telling me, harm yourself, harm yourself, harm yourself. Come hear my voice that's saying, protect yourself, live forever. Don't hurt people with your death. There's a voice that will fight your voice. Help us fight the thing in you that's trying to kill you. Defend yourself. The Bible says this in Ecclesiasticus, that you have to fight sadness. You have to fight it. You got to go to war with it. Now, if you don't go to war with it, it's just like a man breaking in your house and you lay down fat on the bed and just say, take me. You put your hands down and just let him kill you. Well, then you're going to die. Because you don't want to live, because you are giving up to an enemy. But please believe me, it's not you, it's an enemy. Everyone understands. The last thing you need is to not be something that is a great enemy to the Israelite school of U.P.K. You have to not be so effing selfish. Selfishness is so terrible. You wonder why Snoop Dogg performed for Donald Trump, don't you? Nelly. And you have, what's this new broad, Tabitha, who has a contract with Target or something. And so now everybody has to love Target because Tabitha has selling, what is she selling now? I don't know who this person is, selling something, drawers or pajamas, right? So now because Tabitha is selling pajamas, we have to forgive racism because Tabitha, how is she going to sell pajamas? She's selfish. Snoop Dogg is selfish. Nelly is selfish. If you kill yourself, it's because you are so damn selfish. You don't care how it hurts the people who will be left behind. You don't care about us. You just care about yourself. You want to end your own pain by giving me pain? By giving the people who love you pain? So is that your answer? Let me ask you a question. How much pain are you willing to endure to stop us from having pain? That's love. You want to die, don't you? You want to die. You can't stand getting up every day. You're depressed every day. You just want to die. Why? Because somebody else you know died. Your grandmom died. Right? Your family friends died. Your uncle died. So now you just want to die because you all alone. What about us? What do you think? When you died, there will be no one at the funeral? You know how many funerals I've seen or burials, Salaki? Someone killed themselves. And you go to the burial and there's 200 people in there. And I always go, what about them? You couldn't stay alive for the 200 people in this funeral parlor? You were so depressed. You didn't care about depressing them. This person in this casket is a piece of garbage who does not care about hurting people. All he cares about is himself or herself. That's it. He doesn't care about what he's going to do to his mother and father. The mother and father are sitting at the front row of some funeral, bawling to death. Their lives will never be the same. They've had the most terrible thing happen to them that can happen to anyone. But the person in the casket could care less. They didn't care about that. All they cared about is ending their own pain. You better think about how much pain are you willing to take for people that love you? How much will you take? Maybe you'll take so much of it that we'll all start loving each other. And then maybe life will be worth living. Everyone understands. All right, anything else?
Oh, the brother didn't kill himself. He came back.
Give my hand up. Well done. You did it, huh? Go ahead. Let me know whenever you're ready to die. Is that when I should go? Go with you or go after?
Go after.
All right, go ahead.
It's up to you. That was it on the question, sir.
Okay. Oh, let me do the fake Israelite thing. Also, before I forget, we're going to play a new game. I was in the gym this week, and I thought of a perfect game we're going to play. We're going to play this game this Thursday, all right? This Thursday, we're going to play a game, and this is the game. Many of you out there, sisters, you've seen The Color Purple before, right? The movie The Color Purple. We're going to see who, from the characters in The Color Purple, which characters match up with members of the IUIC. That's our game. All right. I was in the gym. I said, this is perfect. Because everybody knows who Celie is. You know who Celie is, right? In the movie The Color Purple. Who is Celie in the IUIC? You know who Celie is. That's the only one I really have. Nate is Celie, isn't he? Nate looks like Celie. Nate, I would assume, is Celie. Now, I haven't seen The Color Purple since '87. But you tell me, this is the game. We're going to see what characters in The Color Purple match up perfectly with members, bishops and deacons and aldermen in the IUIC. I believe that Nate is Celie, but I could be wrong. Maybe you have someone else who would match up. Who are the characters? You got Celie. You got Suge Avery. You got, I know who that old man is in The Color. Who is the old man? Mr. in The Color Purple is that doorman in the IUIC. Is he? Man, I don't even know. Listen, work on it throughout the week. All right? Put it on Facebook. I want you to get the picture of the person in the IUIC, match it up with the character in The Color Purple, and let's see who matches. So here's the game. We're going to match up characters in The Color Purple with members of the IUIC. Everybody gets the game, right? Thursday, we'll bring out the winners. Whoever the winners are, we'll do a consensus. Whoever everybody agrees with, we'll present that winner this Thursday, Harlem, New York. Everybody gets the rules, right? All right, clap it up. All right. I said I would do the fake Israelites who say you have to wait until the kingdom of heaven to celebrate the Passover. You have to wait till the kingdom of heaven to keep the Sabbath. You get my point, right? Fake Israelites always say, well, we don't do that now. We'll wait till the kingdom of heaven. I'll show you that that's a damn lie, all right? Are you ready? I believe we're going here. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 30 and 11 to 12. We're going to go down to about 13. All right? Whenever you're ready, give them a second and we'll get it on.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 11, sir.
Mm-hmm.
For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee.
Let me tell you something, man. Fake Israelites, just like Christians, they always act like in some time in the future we'll become righteous. In some time in the future, then we'll start to keep the commandments of God. Then we'll keep the Passover. Then we'll celebrate the high holy days. The IUIC says they don't know the name of God. They teach that today, that no one knows what God's name is. No one knows the true name of God. You don't know the name of God. But according to the Bible, there's nothing barred from our knowledge now. Read it one more time.
For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee.
There is nothing that is hidden from us because we're in captivity, because this is not the kingdom. The Most High God provided us with every bit of information that we need now to be able to attain the kingdom, to be able to achieve it. The commandment I give you this day is not hidden from you. The name of God is not hidden from you. The path to getting the kingdom is not hidden from you. The ability to keep the commandments is not hidden from you. Christians believe it's impossible to keep the law. They believe there's just no way it could be done. There is a way that the law could absolutely be obeyed. You just choose death rather than life. Continue.
Neither is it far off.
Neither is it far away. These commandments aren't in the future. These commandments aren't in the kingdom. These commandments that I give you are not hidden, meaning you can know them right now, and they're not afar off. They're not way off in the future. They're right now. Continue.
Verse 12. It is not in heaven.
It is not what?
In heaven.
It is not in heaven. Christians believe that once heaven is here, then we'll live in a righteous place. Then everything will be okay. Then what are you waiting for? The Bible just says what?
It is not in heaven.
That's in the Bible. These commandments aren't off in heaven. These commandments are right in front of you, and you can know them now. They're not hidden. It's not in heaven. Continue.
That thou shouldest say, who shall go up from us to heaven?
You understand? It's like the commandments are up there. So who shall go up from us into heaven? We can't get up there. So there's no way for us to give up pork. There's no way for us to give up Christmas. We have to live here. We're here. There's no way for us to celebrate the Passover. We're not in our homeland. Neither are the commandments. The commandments aren't in your homeland either. And the commandments are not in heaven. They're not there. The commandments are here. They're with you right now. You just don't want to obey them. Keep going.
And bring it unto us.
Meaning none of us can go up there and get them, so we can't keep them. Because who can go up to heaven and get the word of God? Oh, well, let's just keep eating pork. Let's just keep not celebrating the Passover. Let's just keep breaking the law because God's word is so far away, so off, and no man can know it. You're a liar. You know it damn well what God's name is, and you know not to eat pork. You just don't want to obey those commandments. Keep going.
That we may hear it.
Keep going.
And do it.
Keep going.
Verse 13. Neither is it beyond the sea.
Neither is it where?
Beyond the sea.
Neither is it where?
Beyond the sea.
What do fake Israelites tell you that has to happen for you to obey God? We got to go to another country. Have you heard that before? Ahmad, you heard that before, right? The fake Israelite group, the GOCC. I don't know if they're even around anymore. But they used to always say, we have to leave America. to truly obey God. We got to go to Europe. We need to go to someplace safe, like Palestine. Salakia? I think the refugees just got back there today. We got to leave America to obey God. We got to leave our country to obey God. The commandments are not what?
Beyond the sea.
They're not beyond the sea. What in the hell are you going to the Middle East for to obey God? What do you think you're going to find there? You're going to be the same wicked person in Jerusalem that you are in your city. The commandments are right in front of you. The commandments are here. You don't have to get on a plane and go travel to the Middle East to find God. You don't have to leave your city, your country to find God. God finds you wherever you are, and he gives you his name. He gives you his law. You just have to choose to keep it and obey it. Continue.
That thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us?
That's what they do. They say, well, if we were living in our own land, then we would be keeping the commandments. But we can't do it here. There's no way. You're a liar and you're a disgusting pig with no self-discipline, and your bones are going to rot in the street in front of the sun that you worship. Continue.
And bring it unto us.
Keep going.
That we may hear it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14. But the word is very high unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart.
But the word, slow down, the word is very nigh unto you. The word of God is close. It's close. It's not in the kingdom. It's not when heaven gets here. It's not once Jesus Christ returns. That's every hypocrite is waiting on this thing to happen before they obey God. That thing will never happen for you. Never. The word is close. It's right here. It's right here. The Lord's name is YAHUAH. It's right in front of you in these books. It's right here, written in Hebrew, right here. It's not something you find out after Jesus returns. This place of righteousness is not this thing that you start doing in that place. It's something you do today because it's close to you. It's near to you. It's nigh. Keep going.
Come on. Unto thee in thy mouth and in thy heart.
Where is it?
In thy heart.
In thy mouth and in thy heart. It's right here. You need that. Never listen to some idiot who's giving you excuses on continually breaking the commandments of God. It's not because the commandments are far off. Over there, you got to get on a plane and go to Jerusalem to learn it. Or you got to go to Europe to finally be free. Some of you are compound Israelites. Have you heard of those women, sister? Those people? They go build some compound off in the woods. Like, who did that? You know about people that do that. You know about that, brother? People that they on the internet, they go build a farm somewhere. There's a farm somewhere where they become the chief prophet Elijah Bub of the farm. Do you know what I'm talking about? You've seen these people, right? In their mind, they can only serve God on the farm. So they go build a whole community away from society, away from the police, away from prying eyes who might watch them have sex with underage girls, because that's what happens on these compounds. Am I telling you something you never heard, Imad? Yeah, that's what happens when you go join your compound religion, your farm religion, because they're making their own chickens and they're making their own eggs and they're making their own milk and cheese and soap. Forget about the soaps they make out there. They're making more soap. They never get so clean in your life with the amount of soap they're making on these farm religious groups. You don't need to go there to serve God. You don't need that. You can serve God from where you are. If you think you need to go live on a commune to serve God, then you have no idea how close God is to you wherever you are. Everyone understands. I'm up.
Yes, sir. If I may, even Adam, Adam tried it. Adam and Eve, and they
How did I forget?
So yeah, they found out very fast. You cannot get away from them.
I mean, come on. Listen, give him a hand. Because that's just the truth, right? Yeah, that's just for fake Israelites and Christian groups and the prophet Elijah Bub, who has 3 acres of dirt somewhere that you have to go join to get away from society to find God out there. That's a lie. He just wants to have sex with your children out there on that farm. Everyone understands? All right, that's all I can do for you. With that, pass the class over to priest officer. Say your name again. Matamya.
So I.S.U.P.K security announcements. With I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA, rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment, you can find it in Numbers 18:21, Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means the 10th in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department. Priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations. The next one is a piece of pure brim. And it lands on the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. It will be on Thursday, the 13th of March and the 14th. You can find it in Esther, the 9th chapter, verses 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Akwafi to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. So like a black boots, purse, so like a boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, man of Israel, imagine what we stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute. Right, man of Israel. We're going to give a courtesy salute. Man of Israel, Mount Shabbat, Akbaz, Barak, YAHUSHUA, YAHWAHSHI, YAHUSHUA, Boom, Yashmatah. So, which means to turn. Imagine which means to stand. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Man of Israel, Mount Shabbat, Akbaz, Barak, YAHUSHUA, Adam Bashim, YAHUSHUA. Yashmatah, class dismissed. I'm not up with mic still. No, because it don't look like it's charged.